Hey everybody, we're continuing our interviews with some Longview students, and today we have Miss Angel Wilson. What's up, Angel?
Hey.
Angel just told me she's an overachiever. She did all of her schoolwork for the week in like one night, so she is just chilling. It's like just another spring break, pretty much, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So, Angel, I know there's probably a lot of people who will watch this who will know you and know who you are, but there might be some who don't. So, just tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you like to do, plans after college, that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm Angel. I'm a senior in high school this year, and I go to DeSoto Christian Academy, which is like behind the church. I'm sure you've seen it. Um, right now, I thought I had a plan for my life, and then the Lord's just been showing me some new things that He might have been or might be preparing for me. And so, I don't know. I'm just kind of just praying through some things right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the famous theologian Thomas Rhett said, "You make your plans and you hear God laughing."
Yeah.
So, Angel, what are some of your hobbies? What are some things that you like to do in your free time?
Um, well, I like to paint sometimes. I play volleyball and cheer in high school, but we don't really do that anymore, but that took up a lot of my time the past few years. And I just like hanging out with people and just being in fellowship with other people.
Right, and you are homecoming queen, right? Like this is an interview with royalty right here.
I don't know.
So, Angel, let's kind of transition. Would you mind just kind of sharing how you came to know the Lord? And, if you want to tell a lot of backstory, you can, or if you just kind of want to talk about that moment where it all clicked, just however you want to do that, just kind of how you came to know who the Lord was.
Yeah. So if you know me, I've grown up in church. Both my parents work in the church, and well, now my dad's kind of taken a new career path, but up until now, the past 18 years of my life, we've just both my parents have worked in the church, and so it's like we're always at church, even when the doors are locked. Like we're always there, and I have a lot of people that have poured into me just so faithfully, and um, I kind of did that walk the aisle thing in first grade. I remember a lot of us were, like coming to know the Lord, whatever. And I kind of went in with the crowd there and really did not understand it at all, but I kind of like walked the aisle or whatever. And there's just no fruit from that. And so when I got into middle school, excuse me, we were listening to, I was in sixth grade, and I don't know if y'all remember Justin Wilson. He was preaching to us one night, and I just remember feeling like everything around me kind of just like closing. Like I was so focused on like what he was saying, and I'm not usually like that. Like I get like distracted really easily, so I'll be like, oh, like look at that over there, and I'll like daze off or something. But I don't even really remember who was like sitting next to me, because I remember it just being like tunnel vision, like just listening to him and what he was talking about that night. And he was talking about salvation and how much we need Jesus. And he said something about like, if you were to die today, like where would you go? And I was like, well, I don't know. Like I wouldn't go, probably wouldn't go to heaven. And so I took my Sunday school teacher to the side that night. Like as soon as we were over or done with service, I was like, I need to talk to somebody. So I took my Sunday school teacher to the side, and we went to our Sunday school room, and she was talking to me about it. And then Justin came in and was like talking to me about it, and I realized that like I wasn't saved, and I did need that salvation. And so I got saved that night and baptized a few weeks later. And I still don't think that, like I was obviously saved that night, and but I didn't really like get serious about my walk until high school, really after ninth grade. And the Lord really convicted me in ninth grade that like I wasn't living what I was like preaching. Like I would be like, oh yeah, like this Christian person here, but like over here at school, like what was I actually acting like? And so I think in high school, like the Lord just showed me like how important it is to share. And how important it is to not take that time for granted to love on people and to just share his name with people. And I'm obviously not perfect, and I mess up daily, but I know the Lord's just been teaching me so much here lately, and just been so faithful to just carry through what he's promised.
Yeah, and I think it's so good that you went down that road to say, we're still constantly learning.
Mhm.
There are still sins that we wrestle with as believers, and it takes a wholehearted devotion of constantly trying to rely on the Lord. And some days it's easier than others, but it's so hard to do. It's easy to say, but it's one of those things that's hard to do. So I appreciate you sharing that, because I know, myself included, I still suck at times at being a Christian. Like, I'm not good at it, and so I need that reminder to keep pushing forward and keep, like Paul said in Philippians 3, forgetting what lies behind, but reaching for what lies ahead. So,
Yeah.
Angel, kind of just going a little bit deeper, talking about, the transition from coming to the Lord and kind of understanding maybe I didn't really know it. And then really made that decision in middle school, and kind of really kind of taking it more serious in high school. You've talked about the Lord's faithfulness here recently. So if you could just say maybe what's the Lord teaching you, in this kind of, it doesn't have to be tied specifically to the coronavirus deal, social distancing, that kind of stuff, but just kind of recently within the last couple of months, what has been like the big thing that the Lord's teaching you?
Um, I think patience a lot. I'm very like, I like to go like do things, and so this has been really hard for me because I'm very extroverted too. So like not being able to see people, like, yeah, we have Zoom and stuff, and that's really been kind of good. I'm really thankful for Zoom. But just like not being able to actually go and like hang out with people has been hard. And so like the Lord just teaching me like it's okay like to take a step back and just sit down and just be calm, and just have that kind of, I guess, patience with like just being content. I guess that's another thing, like contentment, like
Yeah.
just content with where I'm at. But also, I'm a planner. Like I plan everything out. I keep everything pretty organized because I have to. That's just the way my brain works. And so I've had this whole plan. All 4 years of
Mhm.
high school. I'm going to get through high school, and then this is where I'm going to go. My freshman year of college, I already know where I'm going, and this is what I'm doing, and then I'm going to do this, and then that's going to be my life. And um, just the past few weeks, God has just been putting so much on my heart that like I was like, there's no way that I'm going to ever be able to do that, like just things that would have never even like crossed my mind, and just some opportunities, and so he's just teaching me just like to rely on him, but then also like praying through those things. Like I want to know like, hey, like I need to have this decision made, in a few weeks, and it's like maybe I don't, like I just need to like be patient with like him and just like let him work and let him open those doors for me, not try to push it where I don't, where I'm like making a decision just because I'm like, oh, I have to know. And I think it's kind of been cool, like with this stuff hitting, it's kind of pushing everything back a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like this is like an extra time to like be praying through those things that he's been putting on my heart and be listening to him, because obviously like we still have decisions to make, and we still need to like go with like everyday life with that kind of stuff, I guess, just because it's like we don't know when this will be over, and you don't want to be left high and dry. But it has just been kind of like a time to just like, you can't go do this right now, so just pray about it and let me work through you and change your heart and talk through it with you. And so that's a lot of stuff. I guess that's not like one
Yeah.
specific thing, a bunch of different things, but I don't know, he's just really been using this time to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was cool. You didn't have to be tied to one. It's cool that you're, learning a lot of different things in this season. So, so you've been at Longview for a while, right, Angel? You said you were at even though the doors are locked, y'all are out there doing something.
Yeah.
So, in all your time at Longview, all the trips that you've been on, all the events that you've been a part of, whether that's with four friends, whether that's with student ministry, children's ministry, um, anything like that, what has been one of your, and that had to be the top memory, but what is one of your like, just when you think back, an event or something that really just sticks out in your brain, a memory from your time at Longview?
There's so many. um, I think one thing that like pops out to me is when we did the passion play. It was so much fun, and a group of us from the Heights were dancers, and like we had like 2 little dancing scenes where we got out there and got to tour all these things. But then when we weren't dancing, we kind of just like being like kind of like the background, people. And I remember um, the part when like Jesus like dies on the cross, there's like an earthquake or whatever, and Mr. Blake was like, "Hey, you," and I know Grace McCulley did it with me, and I think Kimmy White, and there was one other person or maybe a few other people with us. He was like, "Y'all should run out when that happens, like out of like being scared." And so every night we did the passion play. That part we just like we got to like bust through like the like run in church, like you don't
Yeah,
ever get to do that. So we got to run through. It was just funny because we get out there and we'd all be like, we have to run to our next place to get in place in time. So we'd all be running and we'd just be laughing and we'd be more out of breath because we were all like laughing and they were like, "Be quiet." We're like, "We're sorry." It was just fun. And I don't know, the whole passion play was fun because I don't know, it just brought us together in like a different way than anything else ever has. And so I don't know, that's just one of my favorite memories.
yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. I wish I could have been around at that point to see you sprinting around the church from an
We were,
earthquake.
yeah.
All right, Angel. Kind of just a lighthearted question to kind of wrap up this interview. I'm looking at the list I sent you, trying to pick out the one that I want to pick your brain on. I think I'm going to ask if you could eat dinner with anybody from history, and maybe you want to put like a top 3 or just a couple. Who are some people you'd want to have dinner with, and like the time travel's not going to affect like the future, like you've seen those movies that go back in time and like it really messes up everything. But we're not going to mess up everything. Like it's going to be okay. Like who would you want to go back and have dinner with?
That's hard. I'm like a history geek, so I'm like thinking of all these people in my head and I'm just like, I think one of them would be Paul, just because like I don't know, I just think it's funny that like like he would, not funny, but just like he would like, obviously the things were like he was killing the Christians, but after that, when he'd like get stoned and then he'd be like, "Okay," and like stand up and go back in,
Yeah,
um I don't know, I'd pick his brain about that, just like, okay, what, like, how did you do that? How can I
yeah.
have that kind of faith? And if it was someone like not biblical, um I don't know, probably like Charles Spurgeon or somebody like that. I guess that's
Nice.
they're kind of in the Christian realm, but I don't know. I would like to pick his brain a little bit too. So I don't know. A
Absolutely.
lot of people.
Yeah, those are 2 good ones. Charles Spurgeon's got a good quote about beards, so I really like that quote. He talks about men have beards and it's godly, so I can get on board with that. But Angel, just thank you for the time today that you gave us to do this little interview and just share your heart and what you do. I've only been at Longview on staff for a little over a year now, and it's been a pleasure to have you in the youth group, my tenure here. So you're awesome. Looking forward to what God does through you, wherever that may be in the coming future. So thankful for you and all you do and how you serve and help out well at Longview. So it's been a pleasure, Angel Wilson.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.